Everybody, we're here in Sedona, Arizona for the annual Pinkbike Field Trip. The focus of this year's trip was on affordable trail bikes, but now we wanted to take a few minutes to go into the details of how we tested, where we tested, and as well as even just the basic definition, what's a trail bike? In this case, we had 8 bikes on test with travel balance ranging from 0 millimeters of travel, so it was like 2 hardtails, and the other ones all had between 120 and 140 millimeters of rear travel, and up front, they had between 130 millimeter to 150 millimeter fork.
Because the focus of the field trip is on affordability, we've broken the bikes down into 2 separate groups, one under $3,000 and one under $2,000.
And speaking of price, we decided to keep all the bikes spec'd with their stock tires. We didn't use control tires for this edition. And the reasoning behind that was that if you're already on a budget, the last thing you want to need to do is buy a bike and then shell out another $100 or even more for new tires. So we made sure to mention if the tires that came on the bike were appropriate or if it was something that you would need to upgrade right away.
So how did we test these bikes? Let's go for a ride and we'll show you how we did it. So here we are, we're partway up our 10-minute test loop. It's got a bit of smooth climbing for us to think about efficiency and things like that. More importantly though, it has a lot of technical chunk where we're thinking about how much traction are we getting from this bike? How long does the bike feel? Is the front end too floppy at low speeds? These are trail bikes, remember? So they gotta be able to do all the things on the trail. And sometimes all I'm thinking about is getting up, which is what we're gonna do here.
All right, in addition to that uphill section that Levy showed you, this test loop we have is a nice downhill section. Nothing too crazy, very trail bike appropriate, but does have some chunky corners, some little step downs, some drops, jumps, things that you want on a bike like this. And what we're looking for is just seeing how the bike handles, how it handles the bigger impacts, how it pops off, how it hits those quick corners, just kind of see how it shakes down on this type of trail. We also rode these bikes in other locations around Sedona, trails that are steeper, longer, rougher, rowdier, that type of thing. But this loop that we have is just a nice baseline, a way to get a handle on how the bike rides, good general feel, and you don't have to worry about crashing. You can just do it over and over again, just get a good idea of how that bike stacks up against the others. That's enough talking about the downhill section. Got more ahead of me, let's keep riding.
So that gives you guys an idea of how we reviewed these bikes. Stay tuned for the video reviews and the roundtable discussions. Kazimer, I need a burrito, some horchata. I'm at a feed stroke.
Let's go.